Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the fifth Commitments of Traders report of 2022. And as we always do, we shall start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before we jump to the review, just a brief reminder for those of you who are new to COT analysis. Here at COTBase.com, we offer a lot of educational material, not only a written format, but we have some very, very useful videos as well that will help you better understand this report and give you some guidance on how you can analyze it and at the end of the day benefit from the information it provides. Back to the review and starting off with our first market, the gold market. 45% change in commercials net positions based on a 52-week look back period. Commercials of course represented with the red color here, large speculators in green. So there we have that change size, huge change, much greater than average, possibly the largest change in the past 1 year. It is of course a bullish COT change signal suggesting some strengthening early on next week. Moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see that we are more or less in between the two extremes. So we have a bearish extreme from February of 2020 and the most bullish COT extreme from October of 2018, and we are more or less in between those two right now. So of course this means the extreme analysis does not necessarily give us a specific direction right now. It allows both directions for the market to rally and also for it to decline. The next market that we will be analyzing in this review is the Russian ruble. 40% change over there in commercials positions. Of course, I'll switch back to the 1 year chart and it will become more visible. Again, very large change size compared to the past 1 year. You can see it is the largest change, definitely top three. It is a bearish COT change signal. Of course, we can go back in time and see how the market reacted to bearish COT extremes. And I'm actually going to be showing you the time when the report was available. So this report from June 27th in 2021, just at that top, bearish COT change signal. Then we had one over here in September the same year, just at that top. And now we have this bearish COT change signal again suggesting weakening in the Russian ruble the next couple of days, trading days ahead of us. COT extreme analysis on the 5 years chart, again, more or less neutral. The most bullish COT extreme from November of 2020. And then, of course, bearish COT extremes are still far away. So I could just simply repeat what I just explained with gold, but we're just going to move on to live cattle with a 34% change in commercials net positions. Of course, on the 1 year chart, it can be seen over there. Again, larger than average change size. We have seen great changes in the past, maybe top 5, I would say. The good thing about this bearish COT change signal, it's coming after a decent rally that's been going on for roughly 2 weeks now in the live cattle market. This sudden change in traders' positions suggests we may actually see a bit of a bounce back down in the market. 5 years chart, here we go. You can see not much of an extreme right now. So even though the market is headed much higher, we are not seeing any bearish COT extremes, which would signal a top. So you can see how well we had a bullish COT extreme. I'm just showing you one example from 2018 pushing the market higher, and of course as it's going higher we are receiving a bearish COT extreme signal. That's not the case right now, so it just means we may see live cattle headed to even greater price levels. Moving on to large speculators COT extreme analysis, we've got the New Zealand dollar on top of our list with an 86 report extreme. And of course, you can see that on the chart. It's a bit more bullish, no question, but we have seen much greater extremes in the past. So, of course, as the market is gradually headed lower, we are not surprised to see traders shifting their positions accordingly. But I would say it's not a clear signal. So let us just move on to sugar, where we have an 84 report extreme in large speculators. A more clearer picture, I would say. We had a bearish COT extreme for quite some time without any significant change in the market. There's a bit of a decline, and you can see the response of traders positioning themselves. So I believe this in itself, to me, is actually representing a very positive picture for sugar in the medium to long run. Gasoline market will be the next one for the review and the last one for today. 50 report extreme in large speculators positions. Again, not a clear signal. Compared to the past, I would say 1 year, a bit more bearish, but we have seen greater bearish extremes in the past. So not too much of a storytelling from the COT extreme analysis, at least in the markets that we analyze in this review, because here at COTBase.com, of course, you can analyze many, many more markets. We only show you a few in these reviews. You can, of course, have access to the latest COT report types and all the data types. You can analyze specific data sets that you are interested in. We have some very useful tools to your disposal. The COT extremes, of course, we're showing to you, but we also have the COT index, the move index. We have a long-term trend indicator. We added the volume and open interest analysis to the system. You can always go back in time and analyze a specific COT report that you want. And if you're interested in a specific market that you're trading, the New Zealand dollar, for example, then you can open the COT data on the New Zealand dollar, and then, of course, analyze that data in itself. For example, here we are looking at commercials net positions. So I believe that is something very, very useful as well. Now, I should mention that we have some very useful indicators as well. The COT Base Pro, which includes everything that you just saw in the COT review, so the website access, but you can actually use these tools in your NinjaTrader platform. And the iCOT intraday indicator is something very unique because we reverse engineered COT data, created our own indicator, and come up with the intraday indicator that we call the iCOT indicator. You can see here we are looking at gold 1 minute candlestick charts, and there you go. We've got these wonderful indicators underneath that I believe can be very, very useful there for those of you who trade on a shorter time frame, or maybe for those who are interested in getting in one of the major signals that you get from the classic COT report and would like to get some assistance in execution of an entry, for example. So it's a very, very useful tool. I advise you to give it a try, and hopefully you will benefit from the information that it provides. Thank you very much for being with me in this recent review. I appreciate your attention. I hope to see you in my next COT review. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Goodbye.